He drove around to his house and he sat outside in his car calling the bloke, and Paddy refused to come outside. That tells you all you need to know about a guy.
So Dan Hooker just dropped a bomb claiming Conor McGregor showed up at Paddy Pimblett's place and Paddy was too scared to come outside. But when people started digging deeper into this whole thing, the story completely fell apart.
What did you make of Paddy's performance against Justin Gaethje?
Dog shit. He talks an awful lot of shit for someone that fights like that.
Hooker wasn't done. He kept going.
You know what I mean? If the only thing coming out of that fight, the only thing coming out of it is that you got a good chin, coming from experience, you fought like shit. You know what I mean? Like, this guy talks, and then he gets caught on his shit and he just turns into victim. He goes into victim mode straight away.
This all went down at UFC 325 Media Day. Hooker's sitting there talking to reporters about his upcoming scrap with Benoit Saint-Denis when some journalist asks what he thought about Paddy's showing at UFC 324 against Justin Gaethje.
Like, he's talk shit. Is that common knowledge that Conor, he talked shit about Conor McGregor and then Conor McGregor drove around to his house? He drove around to his house and he sat outside in his car calling the bloke, and Paddy refused to come outside. That tells you all you need to know about a guy.
That's when Hooker said something that had everyone's jaws on the floor. This thing blew up everywhere. We're talking 1.2 million views across major posts. Every single MMA account was sharing this clip. Championship Rounds grabbed it. Happy Punch ran with it. MMA Uncensored posted it. Everybody wanted to know if this was actually legit. The way Hooker tells it, Paddy was running his mouth about Conor McGregor, so Conor drives over to Paddy's house. Conor's sitting in his car outside calling Paddy's phone, and Paddy won't show his face. Hooker said this like it was old news, like everyone in the fight game already knew this went down. He's using it to expose Paddy's character. Says it shows you everything about this dude, that Paddy runs his mouth constantly. But the second someone calls his bluff, he disappears. Now here's where things get wild. The internet started fact-checking this story, and what they dug up tells a completely different tale. This whole thing actually happened back in Conor McGregor was in Liverpool for the Grand National Horse Race. He'd been partying hard for days straight. Around 3 a.m., Conor wanted to keep the party rolling. He heard about Paddy Pimblett being this local fighter who came up through Cage Warriors the same way he did. So Conor figured he'd link up with him. But get this, Conor went to the completely wrong address. He's knocking on some random person's door in Houghton, which is just a suburb in Liverpool. Nobody answered because Paddy wasn't even living there. Paddy actually cleared this up back in He said Conor McGregor was supposedly outside my house. I heard McGregor was in town and was told he and his crew caused some drama at someone's place. But my house has security cameras and the UFC legend never showed up on any footage. Paddy said the whole narrative was completely made up. He explained Conor was wasted at 3 in the morning trying to find someone to party with. Not looking for beef, not trying to confront anyone. Just drunk in Liverpool wanting someone to hang out with. So when fans saw Hooker's spin on this story, they called it out immediately. Someone commented that's a complete fabrication. Conor knocked at Paddy's at 3 in the morning completely hammered wanting him to come party with him. Another person said this story sounds sketchy. Think Conor would have told the whole world about that beat. Someone else wrote Paddy addressed this years ago. Said Conor must have hit the wrong house. Media outlets like Give Me Sport, Bloody Elbow, and MMA Fighting covered this story with major skepticism. They pointed out there's zero evidence Paddy ever talked trash about Conor back in Actually, Paddy looked up to McGregor early in his career. Their few interactions have been pretty respectful. If Conor McGregor really confronted someone who was talking smack about him, you think he wouldn't blast that all over social media? You think he wouldn't tell everyone? This is Conor McGregor we're talking about. The guy shares everything. The fact that Conor never brought up this supposed confrontation says everything. But Hooker doesn't give a damn about any of that. He told his version of events exactly how he wanted to. And whether it happened or not, he used it to tear down Paddy. This whole beef actually started pretty recently. A month ago, these two weren't even thinking about each other. So what sparked all this drama? The whole mess kicked off in early January. Paddy was doing some interview and they asked him about Arman Tsarukyan and whether Arman deserved a title shot. Paddy said no and started going off about different fighters. Then completely out of nowhere, he brought up Dan Hooker. Paddy said, come on, simple as that, man. He shouldn't headbutt people at weigh-ins then pull out of title fights the night before. He can get stuffed. That was random as hell. Nobody even asked about Hooker. But Paddy just started blasting. He brought up some old incidents where Hooker supposedly headbutted someone at weigh-ins and pulled out of fights last minute, basically calling Hooker unreliable and dirty. Hooker heard about it but didn't fire back immediately. He let it slide for a. Then Paddy said something that made Hooker lose his mind. In another interview, Paddy made this crude joke about Hooker's grappling game. He said Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a rapist off his mom. Yeah, he actually said that on camera about another fighter's mother. Now Paddy claimed it was just some hypothetical joke about grappling. He wasn't trying to disrespect Hooker's actual mom. It was just his way of saying Hooker can't grapple. That's Liverpool humor for you. That's how they talk over. Michael Bisping even defended it as typical Liverpool lad banter, saying cultural context matters. But Hooker didn't see it that way at all. He took it as a direct shot at his mother and went absolutely nuclear. Hooker jumped on X and posted, "It's on site, you fat piece of trash." Then he went way lower than that. He started bringing up Paddy's friend Ricky. Ricky was Paddy's close friend who took his own life in 2. Paddy has spoken openly about Ricky's death and how devastating it was for him. He's used his platform to talk about mental health awareness. He gets emotional about it in interviews. And Hooker attacked that. In follow-up posts and interviews, Hooker brought up Ricky's death. He suggested that maybe Paddy wasn't a good enough friend. That maybe Paddy could have done more to. The exact wording changed depending on where you heard it, but the message was crystal clear. Hooker was trying to hurt Paddy in the most vicious way possible. When people asked him about it, Hooker showed zero regret. He said, "Mess around and find out. You want to take it there? You go low, I go lower." He genuinely ticked me off. He genuinely got under my skin. I wanted to say something, so the feeling is mutual. I got no intention of making up. There's no coming back from that. Hooker admitted he wanted to destroy Paddy emotionally. He said he wanted Paddy to feel the same rage he felt. And he doesn't care if people think he crossed every line. According to Hooker, Paddy crossed the line first by bringing up his mom. Paddy fired back at Hooker's comments about Ricky. He called it the lowest of the low. He said bringing up dead people is where you draw the line. That's not trash talk anymore. That's just being a horrible human being. Paddy posted, "Now that's the lowest of the low. On site is fine by me. You're complete garbage at fighting." So now both fighters are saying it's on site, meaning if they run into each other anywhere, there's going to be serious problems. This isn't just about fighting in the octagon anymore. This is personal hatred that could explode outside the cage. The MMA community was split down the middle. Some fans backed Hooker, saying Paddy started it by mentioning his mom. Others sided with Paddy, saying bringing up a friend's suicide is unforgivable regardless. Reddit threads exploded with hundreds of comments debating who was right and who was wrong. One thing everyone agreed on is that this feud got nasty incredibly fast. This isn't the normal trash talk you see between fighters. This is two guys trying to genuinely destroy each other with words. And it all happened within just a few weeks. To understand why this beef matters so much, you need to know who Paddy Pimblett really is and why people have such intense opinions about him. Paddy Pimblett is a lightweight fighter from Liverpool, England. His nickname is the Paddy. He's 5 feet 10 inches with a 73-inch reach. Before joining the UFC, he was the Cage Warriors featherweight champion. That's the same organization that launched Conor McGregor's career. So from the beginning, people were drawing parallels between Paddy and Conor. Dana White himself made the comparison. He said Paddy Pimblett reminds Dana White of Conor McGregor. Everyone keeps doubting him. Both guys are charismatic as hell. Both guys can talk trash. Both guys came from Cage Warriors with massive hype trains. Both guys have that special ability to connect with fans and sell fights. But the comparisons don't always work in Paddy's favor. While Conor backed up his trash talk by knocking out everyone in his path, Paddy's performances have been hit or miss. He's won fights for sure, but he's also had fights where he looked shaky, fights where he ate too many shots, fights where his gas tank emptied in later rounds. His most recent fight at UFC 324 against Justin Gaethje was a loss, and not just any loss. According to Hooker, Paddy fought like complete trash. He got outstruck and finished. The only positive anyone could say was that Paddy showed he has a solid chin, but having a good chin means nothing if you're losing the fight. Paddy's fighting style is pretty interesting. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who averages 2.1 submission attempts per 15. He's got 9 career submissions. Once the fight hits the mat, he's dangerous as hell. His guillotine choke is vicious. His back control is rock solid. He can finish fights from anywhere on the ground. But standing up is a totally different story. Paddy lands 3.41 significant strikes per minute at 50% accuracy. That's not terrible, but he absorbs 430 strikes with only 42% striking defense. He's getting hit more than he's landing. His head movement isn't great at all. When he's standing and trading shots, he's taking serious damage. His takedown numbers are also pretty average. He averages 1.64 takedowns per 15 minutes with 33% accuracy. That means he's only landing about 1 in 4 takedown attempts. Against a fighter with solid takedown defense, Paddy might struggle to get the fight to the ground where he's most lethal. And then there's the weight situation. Paddy is notorious for his post-fight weight gains. After fights, he'll balloon up to over 200 pounds. Then he has to cut back down to 155 for his next fight. Conor McGregor himself was stunned when he FaceTimed Paddy at his Dublin pub, the Black Forge. Conor saw how much weight Paddy had packed on and couldn't hide his shock. Some people think this weight cycling destroys Paddy's performance, that cutting so much weight kills his cardio and durability, that he might perform better if he stayed closer to his fighting weight all year. But none of that has stopped Paddy from being one of the most popular fighters on the entire roster. He's got a massive following, especially in the UK. People love his personality. They love his accent. They love how he doesn't hold back when he even people who think he's overhyped still tune in to watch him fight. Paddy has called out basically everyone in the division. He's talked trash about Ilia Topuria. He's talked trash about Arman Tsarukyan. He's talked trash about Bobby Green, Rafael dos Anjos, Islam Makhachev, Renato Moicano, Dustin Poirier, and now Dan Hooker. The guy has beef with half the lightweight division. His trash talk style is completely unique. He uses British slang that confuses American fighters. He calls people sausages. He calls people helmets. He calls them mushrooms. He's got a whole dictionary of insults that sound hilarious but hit different coming from a Liverpool accent. When he confronted Ilia Topuria at UFC London in 2022, it turned into a complete circus. Security had to jump in. Both fighters were screaming at each other backstage. That confrontation started a long-running feud between Paddy and Topuria. Paddy called Topuria a little sausage. He made comments about Georgians that fans called terrible and racially insensitive. He said he wanted to fight Topuria in Spain to shut up his fans. Paddy went after Bobby Green before they fought at UFC 3. He called Green a proper tool and a proper terrible human being. He said Green didn't have the courage to approach him in person when they were at the same event. Paddy ended up dominating that fight completely. He went after Dustin Poirier too, called his retirement fight performance trash, said Poirier should have just retired quietly instead of making a spectacle and losing. He called Renato Moicano a sausage for tapping out quick against Islam Makhachev, said Moicano quit like a coward. Paddy even went after Arman Tsarukyan, calling him a spoiled brat and rich boy who's been handed everything by his dad. That's Paddy for you. He talks and talks and talks. Sometimes he backs it up, sometimes he doesn't. But he never stops talking. Dan Hooker is a completely different type of fighter. He's a veteran. He's been in the UFC for years and has fought the absolute best. They call him the Hangman. He's from New Zealand. He's 6 feet tall with a 75.5-inch reach. That reach advantage matters big time when you're a striker like Hooker. He can hit you before you can hit him. Hooker is ranked number 5 in the UFC lightweight division. That's not easy to achieve at all. The lightweight division is packed with killers. To be in the top 5, you have to beat legit competition, and Hooker has beaten legit competition. His style is Muay Thai based. He's a stand-up fighter who loves to throw knees and elbows. He lands 4.95 significant strikes per minute at 46% accuracy. That's high-volume striking, constantly throwing heat. He absorbs 4.73 strikes with 50% defense. So he's in absolute wars. He's in fights where both guys are landing heavy shots. His record shows all the wars he's been in. He fought Dustin Poirier in one of the best fights of 2020. He fought Islam Makhachev. He fought Jalin Turner. He's faced elite competition and held his own even in losses. But Hooker does have clear weaknesses. His grappling is not his strong suit. He averages just 0.71 takedowns per 15 minutes with 41% accuracy. He's not trying to take the fight to the ground. He wants to keep it standing where his Muay Thai shines. The problem is he's been submitted 3 times in his 13 losses. Islam Makhachev submitted him. Charles Oliveira submitted him. When elite grapplers get him to the mat, he's in serious trouble. This is exactly what Paddy has been pointing out. Paddy said Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a rapist off his mum because he knows Hooker's grappling is the weak spot. If a fight between them happens, Paddy's path to victory is obvious. Get Hooker to the ground and submit him. But Hooker knows this too. He's been in enough fights to understand his own game. He's not going to just let Paddy take him down without a fight. His takedown defense sits at, that's not elite level, but it's decent. He can sprawl. He can stay on his feet if he's ready for the shot. Hooker's experience is another major factor. He's got 37 pro fights compared to Paddy's 27. He's been in more situations. He's seen more styles. He knows how to adjust mid-fight. That experience matters when things get chaotic. When Hooker talks about Paddy, he talks about him like Paddy's beneath him. He said Paddy fights like trash. He said Paddy looks like a baby giraffe when he's standing and trading. He said Paddy talks a big game but can't back it up when it counts. Hooker predicted a ruthless reckoning for Paddy. He said there are no easy fights left for him, that every ranked fighter in the division will expose Paddy's weaknesses. But here's the interesting part. Hooker said he's not actively chasing a fight with Paddy. He's focused on his fight against Benoit Saint-Denis at UFC 3. He wants to fight higher-ranked opponents, not lower-ranked ones like Paddy. So even though he's talking all this trash, Hooker sees the fight as a step down for him. He thinks Paddy should have to earn a fight with him. Paddy, on the other hand, wants the Hooker fight badly. He sees Hooker as a top 5 level opponent and a chance to prove himself against ranked competition. Paddy fired back at Hooker's record. He said Dan Hooker's beneath me now, especially when I win this belt. He's 5-5 in his last. He's an absolute scrub. You know what I mean? People are calling Michael Chandler washed, and Michael Chandler knocked him out in 2 minutes. So what's Dan Hooker? That's Paddy saying Hooker isn't as good as people think. That Hooker's recent record is average at best. But getting knocked out by Michael Chandler in 2 minutes means Hooker is washed too. So where does this beef go from here? As of late January 2026, both fighters are saying it's on site, but neither one is officially booked to fight each other. Hooker has his fight against Benoit Saint-Denis at UFC 3. That's his main focus right now. Paddy is coming off his loss to Justin Gaethje and needs to figure out his next move. The UFC absolutely loves this kind of drama. 2 fighters who genuinely despise each other, that sells tickets. That gets pay-per-view buys. You can bet Dana White and the matchmakers are watching this unfold and thinking about how to cash in on it if both fighters want it. The fight could definitely happen maybe at a UFC London card, since Paddy is from Liverpool, and the UK fans would lose their minds for it. Or maybe at a neutral venue where both fan bases can show up. If the fight happens, how does it play out? The experts and fans seem to favor Hooker. Predictions floating around the internet have Hooker winning 65-35. Most people think Hooker wins by TKO in the middle rounds. His striking is just cleaner than Paddy's. His reach is longer. His experience is deeper. If the fight stays standing, Hooker picks Paddy apart systematically. But Paddy's grappling is the wild card. If he can survive the early striking, time a takedown perfectly and drag Hooker to the mat, he could submit him. Hooker has been submitted before. His ground game is questionable. One guillotine choke or rear naked choke and it's over. Paddy's cardio is also a major concern. He's lost 2 out of 3 5-round fights. He fades in later rounds. If Hooker can survive the early grappling exchanges and keep the fight going into the championship rounds, Paddy might gas out completely. The fan reactions have been all over the place. On Reddit, some people are excited for a potential Masvidal-style street encounter. If these two see each other before they're officially booked, others are condemning both fighters for going way too far with the personal attacks. The suicide comments, the mom comment, people feel like this crossed a line that professional trash talk shouldn't cross. UFC commentator Michael Bisping tried to provide some perspective. He partially defended Paddy's mom comment as typical Liverpool humor. He said that's just how people talk over there. It's harsh, but it's not meant to be taken literally. Bisping also acknowledged that Hooker's response about Paddy's dead friend was way too far. There's a difference between crude humor about grappling and bringing up someone's suicide. One is trash talk, the other is trying to inflict real psychological damage. This feud has become one of the ugliest in recent UFC history. It's not the playful back and forth you see between most fighters. It's not Conor McGregor making jokes about his opponent. It's two guys who genuinely seem to want to hurt each other, in the cage and outside of it. Paddy called Hooker's comments the lowest of the low. Hooker said he has no intention of making up. Both fighters have drawn lines in the sand. There's no taking back what was said. Paddy just lost to Justin Gaethje at UFC 34, and it wasn't even close. He got outstruck badly. He got finished. The only thing people said after that fight was that Paddy has a good chin. That's it. Hooker watched that fight and called it trash. He said if the only positive from your fight is that you can take a punch, you fought like garbage. And coming from a guy who's been in wars with Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev, that means something. He talked all that noise before the Gaethje fight. He said he was ready for the top guys. He said he belonged with the elite. Then he got in there and looked completely lost. His striking defense was exposed badly. His cardio faded. Everything people worried about came true. Now Paddy's at a crossroads. Does he go back to fighting lower-ranked guys and rebuild? Or does he keep calling out killers like Hooker and risk another loss? Because right now the hype train is slowing down, and fighters like Hooker are waiting to derail it completely. Hooker said there's a ruthless reckoning coming for Paddy. He said there are no easy fights left. Every ranked lightweight in the division saw that Gaethje tape. They all know what to do now. The question is whether Paddy can adjust his game, or if he's just going to keep talking while his record speaks louder. The only way this ends is in the octagon, or in a parking lot somewhere. Either way, when Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett finally meet face to face, it's going to be explosive. And about that Conor McGregor story, whether it's true or not, it's become part of the narrative now. Hooker put it out there. He said Paddy talks trash but hides when someone shows up. Paddy's 2021 denial says otherwise. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Conor was drunk in Liverpool looking for a party. He knocked on a wrong door. Nobody was hiding. Nobody was scared. But in the world of MMA trash talk, the truth doesn't always matter. What matters is the story you tell and how you tell it. And Hooker told his story on the biggest stage available to him. Now we wait to see how Paddy responds. As of January 28, 2026, Paddy hasn't directly addressed Hooker's latest claims. His 2021 denial still stands. But you know Paddy, He's not going to stay quiet for long. This beef is far from over.